Hi, I'm Mikhail Phelps. This is ESBN, Entertainment Sports Book Network, and today we are talking about sports books. Studies show if you read more, your sports performance will improve. So we sat down with some professional athletes to prove these studies. Here's Kobe Bryant.
Hi, I'm Kobe Bryant, and I'm a professional basketball player.
What's your favorite book, Kobe, and what's it about?
My favorite book is Miracle on 49th Street. It's this book about a girl named Molly whose parents split up when she was born. Her mom had died of cancer, so she was determined to find her dad. Before her mom died, her mom had told her who her father was, Josh Cameron, a professional basketball player for the Celtics. So one day, Molly decides to show up at their practice and tell her dad who she really was. When she approaches him, he just thinks she's a crazy fan and gives him her autograph, until she releases the truth about it, that he is actually her father. At first, he was in shock and couldn't handle the truth, until she gave him the letters that he wrote her mom when they were dating. He didn't want this news to go public, so he would call her his niece. She wasn't very happy about this. Many arguments and hurt feelings occur. Maybe they will resolve their problems, maybe they won't.
Thanks, Kobe. Sounds like a great book. And now here's LeBron James.
Hi, I'm Ron, a professional basketball player. My favorite book is The Travel Team. This book is about a boy named Danny, whose dad is a famous basketball player, Richie Walker. Danny wants to follow in his dad's footsteps and be known for playing basketball, but all that comes to an end when Danny is cut from his travel team for being too small. When he's cut from the team, he decides that he doesn't want to play basketball anymore, but then his dad comes back into town and tells him that he can start his own team. So a bunch of boys that were never good enough and they couldn't play on the travel team get together and start their own team. And they end up and they start playing really well together and they start winning a lot of games. And then it comes down to a championship match, and Danny is faced to play the team that he was cut from for being too small. Who will win?
Thanks, LeBron. Sounds like a very intriguing book. And now here's Peyton Canning.
Hi, I'm Peyton Canning and I'm a professional football player. My favorite book is a book called Dairy Queen by Catherine Gilbert Murdoch. It's about a girl named DJ who likes playing sports, but then her dad gets a back injury, and so she has to take over the chores at her dairy farm. A guy that lives down the street, Jimmy Ott, realizes that she needs some help, so he sends one of his football players, which is a quarterback at Holly High School, named Brian, to help out. Brian and DJ fight a lot at first, and they don't really get along, but after a while, DJ decides that since her brothers were really good football players, she would train Brian how to play football better. After many weeks at training, they started liking each other, and DJ soon realized that she too wanted to play football since she had been training so hard with Brian. So she goes to the Red Bin High School football coach and talked to him to see if she could play football as a girl or not. Will she be able to play football?
Thanks, Peyton Canning. Sounds like a very interesting novel. And now for my favorite book, Rush for the Gold, Mystery at the Olympics. It's about a 15-year-old girl named Susan Carroll who's just a normal high school teenage swimmer until she wins the gold medal at the World Championships. She then becomes a celebrity and gets all these marketing deals from big companies like Speedo, Nike, and Under Armour. It also has her at odds with her father, who's under the influence of her pushy agent J.P. Scott. Her boyfriend Stevie is a teen journalist who loves to write about her experiences with the Olympic trials and the early trials in London. When reporting, he starts to question Susan's opponent from Russia. Susan was too caught up in marketing to realize what was going on. Stevie needs to find out what the mystery is before it could cost Susan her dream of winning the gold medal at the London Olympics. The question is Stevie going to be able to figure out the mystery in time?
My author is Mike Lupica. His inspiration for this book is that he's very involved with sports, and he works for ESPN as a broadcaster.
My author is Mike Lupica. He is very involved in sports, and I think that inspired him to write the books that he does. And he is also a broadcaster for ESPN.
The author Catherine Gilbert Murdoch wrote her book to James, Liz, and Mr. Webster. Mr. Webster was a guy who lived down the road from her that owned a dairy farm that she frequently helped out with when she was a kid. And she thinks that she was inspired to write this book because of her dream, or of a dream, which she said is what usually inspires her to write her other books.
The author is John Feinstein, and his inspiration for this book was that he was a college swimmer, and he's very involved with sports as he works for CBS Sports as a broadcaster and publisher. All our books are the same because they all have to deal with sports, and they're very inspirational, and there's always a controversy with all the main characters and how they overcome it and succeed. All these sports books are still relevant today because they're all inspirational sports stories that can still happen today and that kids look up to and happen in their daily lives. You just watched an episode on ESBN. Join us next week for another sports edition of books. And I'm Miguel Phelps. Thanks for watching.